Welcome everybody here today to our very special edition of J.O.L.T Live. That's J.O.L.T, just one little topic at the Rec Innovation Lab at San Diego Miramar College. And we are here today on a Thursday when we're usually here on a Monday because we had so many issues on Monday with technical difficulties that we just said, let's just scrap this and try again on Thursday. And so that's what we're doing now. And welcome. I'm glad to have everybody here. And I'm especially glad to introduce our guest today, who is Martin Danner, who is the founder of several different startups. But right now he's working on a startup that he's recently founded, Conversaire. And welcome, Martin.
Thank you, Tanya. Appreciate this opportunity.
Oh, we're so happy to have you. Would you mind starting just by telling us a little bit about what is Conversaire?
Yeah, sure. I'm a semi-retired IT professional. So Conversaire is my pay-it-forward passion project, if you will. It's a podcast network. And the purpose of this podcast network is to create narratives for a better world. And the way I want to go about that is by helping the leaders of tomorrow develop their own digital communication skills and help them with storytelling. We're using storytelling as the method and podcasting as the medium. Eventually, we'll be offering training, internships, and grants. We're currently developing courseware for teachers to help them introduce podcasting in the classroom. And I'm happy to say that I actually have a student intern, a high school student, who's working with me on that.
Congratulations, that's awesome. Yeah, because of you, we have now introduced podcasting into our classes at San Diego State and San Diego Miramar College, and I'm loving this new medium for entrepreneurs.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's great. So thank you for that. So tell us a little bit about how Conversaire is different than other podcasting networks.
Sure. Well, a podcasting network is just nothing more than a group of podcasts gathered under a single brand. You can almost think of it like a TV network, but for radio on demand. So like, how ESPN is a collection of shows for sports and CNN is a collection of shows about news. Well, Conversaire is a collection of shows that address important issues and offer useful solutions.
Wonderful. So, sorry about that. So right now it feels like our world is topsy-turvy, and people are understandably, they're tired of this new digital world, and entrepreneurs in general, they face a lot of challenges. They make a lot of mistakes, like the mistake that we had last week. We're used to these kind of things in entrepreneurship, but they're still hard when they come. Maybe you could, if you wouldn't mind sharing with the entrepreneurs who are listening, any mistakes that you personally went through early on in Conversaire, early on in your career.
Oh gosh, there's so many. I mean, really, starting a business is a process of discovery, and you make a lot of mistakes along the way, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, failure is not a bad thing because it's a learning experience. Just try and fail fast and not lose too much in the process. Mm-hmm. So I'd say my biggest mistake, though, was poor market validation. You just think that, well, this is a fantastic idea. I'll build it and they'll come. And more often than not, it doesn't quite work out that way. So you need to have the discipline to go through the market validation and the other steps that really make up the lean startup process. And I guess that's why I like the Rec Gazelle program so much, because it provides that discipline for new entrepreneurs to follow that process.
Thanks for saying that. That's one of the common mistakes that we do see. By market validation, Martin is essentially saying you need to go out there and validate your ideas. You need to talk to potential users and see, what do they think? What are the challenges, and really test out that idea before you spend too much time or money getting it built out, right? Exactly. I had that same mindset for many years in entrepreneurship. If you build it, they will come. Not always.
And so the product and service you offer may well be something quite different from what you initially thought.
Yeah, many businesses do change from the way that they started to the way that they look in the end. So maybe if you wouldn't mind, what issues do you think entrepreneurs might be facing today? What are maybe some unique issues that they're facing today that they didn't face 10, 20 years ago, starting businesses?
Yeah. Well, I guess probably the most obvious one is the pandemic and the fact that we're all, restricted mobility. We've got an economic downturn we're dealing with. But what I like to say about that is that change produces opportunity, and that's something to be considered. And really what I'm talking about is not profiting from the misfortune of others during a pandemic, but rather to create products and services that help people through it. I guess social media is another one. It's a great tool for reaching the vast audiences, but it doesn't mean they'll necessarily be listening. And so there's so much noise out there, it's really hard to get noticed. And one technique that I found kind of useful is what you call guerrilla marketing. That's a term that's been around for quite a while now, but the idea that you do something unique, innovative, kind of unexpected to get noticed. I'd say a great example of that is Virgin Airlines when that first got started, because my goodness, that was a record company for crying out loud, trying to get into the airline business. So they had to do something to get noticed. They were up against British Airlines, which is this huge, massive, well-entrenched organization. And so they did some pretty outrageous things to do that, and it worked out.
Yeah, talk about a pivot, right? From the record industry, from the music industry that's dying, into this airline industry that was highly regulated, and nobody thinks you don't just jump into the airline industry. So agreed. That was we talked about a case study.
Yeah.
So
now they're heading into outer space.
Right. And now they're heading into outer space. Right. So yeah, I agree with you 100% on marketing, the changes that we see in marketing and social media marketing. In fact, I often think of marketing now as just social media marketing, and it does tend to be pretty important to entrepreneurs. And so maybe is there anything that you have personally done that you found that works, or what can you recommend for entrepreneurs to do in this world?
Well, I would say that networking is really important.
Yeah.
I mentioned guerrilla marketing to get noticed. Well, networking is a way to get noticed as well, by putting the word out, word of mouth, and promoting others people's things so that they in turn promote yours.
I agree. I think that networking and social media marketing kind of go hand in hand, and that's such a great point. When you're trying to get a marketing campaign to go viral, it's a good idea not to just think about yourself always, but think about lifting others up at the same time. People don't want to read posts constantly about yourself and your products and services. So
that's right.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. So is there anything else you'd like to leave the audience with today? Any other bits of advice or help that you can offer?
Oh, well, I'd just like to say that entrepreneurship is not easy. It's incredibly rewarding, but it's a lot of hard work. You gotta have persistence. You gotta have grit. So, be ready to make that commitment and hang in there.
Great advice. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for everything that you're doing. I love to see the diverse entrepreneurs who come and talk to us, and who join us at the Rec, and just to love to see the diversity in entrepreneurship, and we can all do amazing things in this field. And so I thank you for joining us, and thank you for sharing your wisdom with everyone. And we'll see everyone again, hopefully at the next Jolt, which is usually on a Monday. And hope to see you again, Martin. We'll see you at the Rec. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.